Good evening, everybody, and welcome to, what is it, CAF Update 41. 41, again, hard to imagine. I've been doing this for so darn long. But I see in the comments already that someone's already welcoming me as Bill again. So, yeah, that's not going to happen again quite like that. Billigan will never have his hair up in that hat. See, I put it over there on the alien in the corner. So we'll see how that's going to work out next time. But it definitely, I don't know what happens magically with that hat on. I look like a 90-year-old man. So we are not going to do that again. Good evening, Harry. Nice to see you too, Larry. And Mel. Yeah, Mel, that was a really awful look for me. So I thought it was funny, but I didn't think it was that bad. So yeah, see, I see that. Ruben says Billigan was terrifying, and absolutely was terrifying. So yeah, it'll be the long-haired Billigan going forward. So never again will I tuck my hair in a hat. So anyway, live and learn, live and learn. You know, I know that Mikhail is scarred for life. We might not see him tonight. So that happens, and there's nothing we can do about it. But it was a good show. And after the show, I had a good long talk with Mike and Anthony, and we had a couple fun ideas for some future bits that we can do as part of the show, even during the live show, versus always doing just the memes. I mean, we'll do the memes for forever because they're so darn funny. But we had some fun ideas to add into the show. I don't know when we'll get that mix going in there. Scott, thank you, Scott. Yes, Disco Billigan, Boogie Billigan will. I'm sure will make an appearance, but after I've had a little bit more time to practice my moves and my air guitar. That's for sure. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. We'll work it in one of these episodes. But yes, Anthony loved it, even though he was like disgusted by it after the show when we talked about it. But he had some really great ideas. Tequila might help make that a little bit more fun. So, but at any rate, it was a good show last night. You know, $30,000 for a show is actually what our average is. So we couldn't keep setting records at the $60,000+ show rate. That just was unsustainable. But it was fun. It was fun to do those, and I'm sure I have a feeling that when we do the Saturday show next week, that's going to be really interesting because Mike's already given me his list, and I can't see how he doesn't sell out, and it's a lot of really great artwork. And I'm sure once the European audience is allowed to watch the show live, I just have a feeling it's going to it'll be like the Dino show all over again, where there's a lot of people trying to claim stuff all at once. And the trouble there will be, of course, that we'll have people who've never been in the show trying to claim, and I'm going to have to really stress the whole format, since most of everybody here in this chat know how to properly format their claims. So yes, and let's see what else. So on Saturday, anybody who's interested in Sarah Bizarre, Dave Sim, Gerhard, at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, I've got the Gerhard art sale, where he's pulled, I believe, 30 pieces together that he's going to offer for sale. I'm going to do an interview with him, and Chuck Costas, who reps Gerhard, is going to be in on that, and then we'll show the artwork as a regular claim sale. But the only difference is going to be that Chuck wants everything via email. So we'll be probably running a ticker saying, with Chuck's email address on there, anybody who wants to claim any of the artwork during the show just needs to email him, and then it'll be kind of a first come, first serve type of deal. Whoever gets their emails in first will get the offer to buy it at the price that's shown during the show. So big experiment for me, since I've not done anything like that before, but I've had a few other inquiries from people that are interested in having us host a show like that. So we'll see how this one goes. If it goes well, you can expect more of those to happen as well. And of course, next Monday is the rematch between Dino and Jordan. So if we all remember what that last episode was like, so you can expect more of the same insanity. And I'll be getting their lists probably tomorrow, so I'll get a preview of that, and I'm sure they're going to be as good as the last round. So I hope everybody tunes in for that. And if I were you, I would just have a copy paste ready to go with every round. You know how to set them up, so set them up and just be ready to copy and paste. It's because you don't want Glenn getting all that artwork again. So that's well, I like Glenn, and I'd like Glenn getting art, but I want that art to get around. So everybody's got to be quick quick to get the good stuff on Monday. And I'm sorry, just reading the chat. I agree, Scott, that we should make it a verb noun. So after that, then we are going to do a Dueling Dealers episode next Wednesday. And as I mentioned in the email today, it is going to be pretty much just a sketch, unpublished type of deal, because we can't have like 3 big shows in 1 week. Heck, 2 big shows in 1 week is probably one too many. So the show on Wednesday is strictly going to be pieces that average around $500, mostly unpublished. I know that most of our buyers during the show are really more interested in the published work, but there's going to be a wide variety of stuff. It's not just going to be commissions. I can tell you that I know Mike's got some sketch prelims for covers and other things along that range, and nothing will certainly be over, I believe, $2,000, but the majority of it is under $1,000, average $500. So that should make for, a good intermediate step between the 2 shows. And we hope we're actually going to do 2 pieces per round for the 15 rounds, because they're all really more low end stuff. So we'll see how that goes. If it doesn't work out well, this was Mike's idea, so I can blame it on Mike if it doesn't go well. But I think it'll work out fine. And then I should note that on Thursday of next week, I'll be talking with Nick Perucci as a special comic art spotlight versus doing my usual CAF update on Thursday. I'll do that on Friday as a 20-minute show, just to cover all the highs and lows from the past week. But having Nick on is going to be a lot of fun. Nick is a huge collector, has an amazing collection. With his experience as an entrepreneur in this hobby, I think he's going to be, it's going to be really fun for he and I to interact, because we've only talked on the phone a few times. So getting us both on camera should be a lot of fun. Hopefully everybody will prep some questions for Nick too, because I'll have a huge set for him. But hey, let's all throw questions at him. Nick's a regular participant here in the chat, and I think it's going to be great to have him on screen with me. So with that introduction out of the way, I don't believe there was any other crazy thing I have going on with the chats. After that show, I can tell you that we do have another collector show lined up for May 17th, Monday, May 17th. And I will announce that probably next week, just so you know who the collectors are on that show. It's going to be a lot of fun. People we know that are in the chat regularly are going to be the participants for that. And but yeah, I'll announce that next week, kind of keep everybody in suspense until we to make that announcement and come up with a nice cover image for that show. So, all right. So now let's get on to the data at hand. This report is going to cover the period of April 12th through the 18th, last week. And basically a pretty down week in general for dealers and auction houses, or I should say more average. And it wasn't a really fantastic week. Dealers sold $289,000 worth of artwork as compared to $430,000 the week before that. Now, that could have had something to do with the Comic Art Live or Comic Art Con that was on Sunday. Maybe a lot of people didn't report their sales that happened during that show because they were too tired when they got home. So what we may end up finding out is that they just record their sales during this week, so that then next week will probably be a very high week. It's hard to say, but having that show on Sunday probably did keep some of the people from updating their sites and whatnot. You figure Albert was there, Will was there, Anthony was there. I can't think of anybody else who I tracked that was at that show, but we'll find out, right? I mean, again, so a very average week for the dealers. Felix came on top with 44 sales at $70,000. Will was next with 4 sales at $64,000. Berkey was third with 36 sales at just under $60,000, and then Anthony was fourth with 80 sales and just under $40,000. So Anthony's always Mr. Volume, so that's why he's going to be good for the sketch show. I believe he'll have a lot of pieces that will be priced well to move. So let me show you the top 6 dealer sales from last week. First up, this was sold by Will's Comic Art page. This was Alpha Flight 27 cover from 1985. This was sold with the asking price of $29,000. John Byrne cover, of course. Next up, this was sold by Will as well. Asking price on this one was $25,000. This was done by Nick Carty. This is the cover to Teen Titans 32 from 1971. This is a complete issue sale, Detective Comics 1030, Bilquist Evely, And the asking price, and I'm sure the sold price, was $17,000. Felix would not discount something like that. This is another Felix sale from Bilquist as well. This is from Batman Black and White, and I believe this was a 8-page story, and the price on this one was $12,000. Next up, this was sold by Tatiana from CAF Gallery. This is, of course, Tim's sale. Asking price on this one was $9,500. This was a long Halloween splash. And finally, another Will Gabrielle piece from Will's comic art page. This is Jack Kirby, Vince Colletta, Thor 139, page 16 from 1967, sold for the asking price of $8,500. So there you have that. I think overall, again, their sales were very average last week, but that's all good. It's all good. Everything's moving forward. You know, everything's always moving along in the with the dealers. I'm very happy with the way it seems like the dealers are really setting a pace for themselves that I thought last year they couldn't top. You know, they wouldn't be able to top last year. And at this the rate they're going now, I think they're going to do, I won't say double what they did last year, but I'm sure they're going to improve by 25-30% in their sales with the way things have started this year. I'm sure Dueling Dealers is helping a little bit too, but in general, everybody's really doing a phenomenal job. And I'm using that. You know, one of the things I always want to tell everybody, I think if we made a drinking game out of Dueling Dealers, every time Mike says the word phenomenal, everybody should have to take a shot, because he says phenomenal with pretty much every single artwork that he shows you. So if I start doing that, then maybe everybody will follow. That might be a fun game. Probably wouldn't be a fun game for me, though. I mean, I probably wouldn't make it to the end of the round, but it's just a suggestion. All right, so auction houses. This was a very average week. I can tell you that without question, eBay was down because they didn't have the regular heavy lots that they usually have when we're doing our promotion for them. So even, you know, the commissions I make from helping eBay sell stuff was down last week. The combined sales for eBay and Heritage was $281,000, and that was compared to $352,000 the week prior. And let's see, eBay sold about $161,000 of that, with Heritage at, I believe, $120,000. I'm going to show you the top 3 sales from eBay first, and then the top 3 sales from Heritage. Okay, so first up, this is one of the hero lots. This was Ed McGuinness and Dale Keown. Of course, Red Hulk, Green Hulk jam piece. This sold for $7,400. I really like that one. They've done a really great job, the Hero Initiative, with these jam pieces that they've been selling on eBay. This was a terrible scan, as we're used to getting from eBay sellers. Tales of the Teen Titans Annual number 4, Ed Hannigan and DeCarlo. This one sold for $4,000. Probably much better in person. And this is a Gary Frank Flash Grodd cover from, what is it? It's issue 750, and it sold for $3,575. Next up are the 3 Heritage picks. They are Jack Kirby, Dick Ayers, Sergeant Fury number 3 from 1963. This one sold for $21,600. Pretty high sale for them on their weekly auction. This is a classic page from Amazing Spider-Man number 200. Keith Pollard and Jim Mooney, of course, and this sold for $8,700. Well worth it. Probably one of the more memorable pages from that story. And finally, this is by Bob McLeod and Tom Palmer. This is from Star Wars number 90. It's page 5, 1984. Sold for $7,200. And Star Wars art is always, always, always hot, as we all know. Fortunately, I don't collect it, so I don't have to battle it out with the guys that do. But it's definitely a hot market. And we put some feelers out, by the way. We actually have a show on May the 4th. It's a Tuesday show with the dealers. I've thrown some questions out there to see if I can get some people who are Star Wars art collectors that wanted to be on the show, and I've been turned down by everybody. I don't know why that is. The force is not with me, clearly. So if anyone is a Star Wars collector and has a few, maybe not all Star Wars art to show, I'd love to have a Star Wars collector on the Tuesday, May the 4th show. So if you're out there, send me an email, bill@comicartfans.com. I asked Will and Glenn to try to put some feelers out, which I think they did as well, but I haven't heard back from them yet. So, but maybe they're striking out too. So if you're out there and you hear this, shoot me an email. We'll get you on the show. It'll be a lot of fun. So keep that in mind. And I hope to hear from somebody before that time, or we'll just set something else up for that evening. But that is my hope. So finally, let's do the popular artwork of the this week. There was a lot of, as always, more stuff than I could have hoped to cram into here, and I found a lot of artwork that was added the Sunday before, the cutoff would have happened from the show before. Really nice Paul Pope Batman page that I thought about showing on this one, but the date range is just wrong. I gotta stick with what I know. Let's see. Invite Dave Mandel. That's actually a good. That was a thought that I had. I didn't want to. I mean, Dave's a pretty busy guy, so I have actually never asked him to be on the show, and I probably should. I really should, because I think Dave would be a fantastic guest, and I mean, I talked to him many times. He would be amazing to have on there. All right, I could send an email out and ask him. If I don't hear from anybody else, he would be a fantastic guy to have on here. And if everybody takes a shot when I say fantastic, you won't make it through the first hour. All right, on to the popular artwork of this period. Here we go. First up is this Daredevil by Dk Ruan, and this is in the collection of Khalil Gibran. Absolutely fantastic image. I love this one. And what more can you say about it? I'd like to own that. And this is in the collection of Eric DLS, and it is by Arthur Adams, of course. This is a recreation from JLA 51. Fantastic image. And Eric had a nice write-up in his gallery about that piece. Next up, I was going to buy this from Albert, and it disappeared off his site. This is Avengers 83, page 15 from 1970, collection of J.H., John Buscema, and Tom Palmer. I really like that last image with Quicksilver. Next up is a World War Hulk #1 DPS from 2007 in the collection of my buddy James S. This is John Romita Jr. and Claus Jansen. Next up is this Batman 608, page 22. This is in the collection of Dean Abraham, and of course it's done by Jim Lee and Scott Williams. This is a 1993 Hellboy promotional pinup, and done by Mike Mignola, of course, and it's in the collection of DJ. Very early image there. And here is a Mike Mayhew Spidey. I don't know if this was a commission or a published piece. I didn't get a chance to read the details on it. This is in the collection of RS88. This is in the collection of Sylvain R. This is Todd McFarlane, of course. It's from Incredible Hulk 339, page 11, from 1988, if you can believe it. And sorry for the blurry scan on this one. I really like this image, non-premium members, so that's why it's a little bit smaller than normal. This is Tim Sale from Long Halloween, collection of Michael 07 and Jeff, just babbling around on that one. So, hey, this is an unmistakable cover by John Byrne. This is the FF260 cover in the collection of Imran A. This is in Aranga Deva Surendra, their collection. This is Alex Ross, ASM number 795 cover. The final three, this is in our friend Michael Lovett's collection. This is George Perez and Scott Kublish. This is from Final Crisis Legion of Three Worlds, #2, pages 26 and 27. This is a Gary Frank pinup, collection of T. Shen, King Hulk from World War Hulk. And yep, Mike Berkey cannot look that angry ever. And finally, in the collection of George Pethaus. Hey, I should get that down pronounced because George and I texted about this one. John Byrne, Elsewhen, inked by Scott Williams. And sorry for messing up your last name, George. I knew I should have prepped for that one. I apologize. And yes, that was a nice McCulkey. Yes, Jason, I thought James' piece was pretty crazy. I actually didn't read that book, so I wasn't quite sure what he was smashing, but the image is very, very compelling. And I went 20 minutes on my intro without bringing on my guest. So we're going to get right on to it. Okay, wait, see, Pa Tu Has. All right, well, I'm going to work on that in case I get another piece from George in this. So thank you, Ruben. I should just ask you. You usually, you've got me corrected. Oh, and thank you, Ruben, for pointing out. I have to admit this as well. We had our 1 millionth comment on CAF. I believe it happened on Wednesday night. I could be wrong. Yeah, it was definitely Wednesday that it happened. And the caveat in all this, and it's kind of funny, I should have just checked to see, because you can check the comment IDs. Even though we say there's a million, that means there's a million active comments for active artwork on the site. Considering that more than 2 million pieces of artwork have been added to CAF over the 18 years it's been online, and there's only about 1 million plus pieces of artwork on there today, more than likely we probably passed 1 million comments a long time ago. I just wasn't really thinking about it. I bet you we're probably somewhere, 1.5 million or something. But 1 million active comments on CAF is pretty formidable. And yes, thank you, Ruben, again. Ruben pointed out, he sent me an email and to give me the high five that we made it. So no, it was not Baller, Carlos. More than likely, he is probably, Baller comments are probably the #1 comment on anything that we have on CAF. So, all right, let me bring my guest into the show this evening, Timothy Guerrero. Hey, Tim. Oh, you're on mute. You got to unmute yourself. I can't. Yep, there you go. Hey, all right.
Hey, Bill.
Good
How are you
evening.
doing?
I am doing great. Before we get started, I wanted to just say thank you because I always see your comments on the Facebook page, and you've been in the chats before, and I just appreciate people that appreciate everything that we're doing and just going around and being a part of the social side of the stuff that we've been doing for CAF and for Comic Art Live. So I appreciate it, man. It takes time to kind of hang out with us, and you've spent a lot of time hanging out. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's great. I used to spend a lot of time on CAF, on your Thursday emails,
Mm-hmm.
on the people you displayed there, and looking at all of their galleries and commenting on them.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have enough time to do it anymore.
Right. No, well, neither do I. That's the sad part. When Ruben told me about the millionth comment, I had completely forgotten about it, and I probably hadn't been on CAF for about 12 hours myself, just because of all the different prep work I do for these live streams, I still focus a lot on the customer support side. So I'm stuck in my email or stuck prepping for the shows, and so I miss a lot too. There's only so many hours in the week to devote to our hobby, right? I'm just glad that that something, whether it's CAF or it's the live streams we do, that people take the time out for one or the other or both when, if you have that much time.
Yeah.
But when we were talking earlier, I didn't realize it, but you are actually in El Salvador. So before we even start talking about your origin story, I think that, what's the internet connection? You must have a decent internet connection for us to be having this chat this evening. So what part of El Salvador are you located?
Oh, in the capital city in San Salvador.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So then that can lead right into the question of how you got involved in wanting and buying comic art, or maybe comics in general. Being in El Salvador, what was your gateway to even starting collecting comics prior to collecting art?
Well, as far as I can remember, I think the first time when we traveled to the States with my family, I was 8 years old. And somewhere at a gas station or something, I must have seen comics. And I've always loved reading and art. So the comic medium merges both. So my dad bought me a couple, and I've loved them ever since. But when I was around 15 years old, I studied in a bilingual school here in El Salvador, in which a lot of American kids that were sons and daughters of people who work on the embassy studied there. So I met a kid there who had a lot of comics. He had, I don't remember, maybe 3 or 4 short boxes, which was a lot back then. And he showed me how he stored them in bags with backboards. I didn't know about that back then. And then I purchased most of his stuff because he was leaving back to the States. I purchased Jim Lee's X-Men run, Todd Mcfarlane, Spider-Man, a lot of that stuff.
Right.
And then, so I've always loved art, and I used to buy Wizard all the time, and I still have a lot of those. And they used to have some parts where they showed original art, but I don't know, it never hit me that you could purchase original art. I went to a convention in New York. It was in 94, I think. And I didn't even notice original art back then. Then the next time I went to a convention was in Baltimore in 2007, and I didn't notice that either. It wasn't until 2009. Incredible. Today is April 22nd. Uh, I bought my first art piece in 2009 this very day. So
Really?
it's my 12. Yeah, yeah.
That's how can you
Uh-huh.
actually remember the exact date that you bought your
Because I
first?
have a database with all my
Ah,
purchases.
okay. Very wise. Very
Yeah,
wise.
yeah. Size, artist, inker. I'm going through all the art and putting even the writer because I
Mhm.
like to get the art signed by
Right.
all the art team that worked on them. So I have a database. Well, I sent you
I know
a
yeah,
small.
you did. Yeah, very, very
Uh-huh.
detailed spreadsheet. No, that was
All right.
I have not gotten one of those before. You were the first one. The dealers give me a spreadsheet, but I've never gotten one from a guest that I was having on the show. So
It
I
took
appreciated
time.
that.
It took
Oh, I'm
time,
sure.
I spent all of Sunday looking up the pieces, and then I was like, "Oh my God, I can't pick only 16." So here's the all the that I picked up, and you choose which ones we're gonna see.
I ended up choosing 18 because I couldn't narrow it down to 16 either. I didn't. You have some spectacular pieces in your collection. So okay. So this is your
Thanks.
12-year anniversary of collecting original comic art. So what
Yeah.
was the first piece of art that you picked up?
The first piece I picked the Promethea piece from J.H. Williams the third.
Oh, very nice.
That's the first piece. It's in there. It was in there. I
I
don't know
didn't
if you
pick
picked
that
it up.
one. I'm sorry. That wasn't one that I picked. I'd have to really get into Photoshop and get it prepped. But that was a beautiful artwork. I just didn't know which ones to pick because there were just too many to go through.
It isn't like a special piece, but it was the first piece. And I liked it that there's the ink piece, which was picked up from all the different pencil pieces. That's
Yeah.
why there were several scans because he does well. He did at least at that time the 8.5 by 11 pencil pieces with each panel, and then he
Mhm.
props them up in one board and does the ink on those. So
Oh,
it
okay.
was very nice. Yeah. So in 2009, I realized, hey, you can buy comic art. So I started looking up and getting educated on the subject, and actually I bought uh, like this book,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
I've
very
got a copy of
nice.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, I loved reading it. It's got a lot of artwork. I also purchased the Jerry Weiss price
Hmm.
guides,
Yeah, I've got it too.
which were outdated the minute they came out, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
interesting. Anyways,
Right.
some
Oh no,
pieces must have had this price tag sometime in the
right. I
day.
mean, I honestly think every collector should have both of those books. I mean, they're invaluable as a resource tool to go back and see what was available and what the prices were back then. I think if you can pick up the Russ Cochran catalogs that he had, I mean, I've got about 60 of those, and there's several others out there as well. There's I always forget the one. The Sotheby's auction. I've got that. I always have that one propped up on the corner of my desk and check that out every once in a while. They made really nice books out of their auctions as well. So yeah, I think everybody should own all of those. Those are great tools to kind of introduce you to the hobby and know what was available, but
Uh-huh.
not good for valuing your art today. That's for sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, not at all. I also got some books with pricing of original art that I picked up from eBay, which were old. I have them stored. I forgot to look them up. to show them.
Oh,
But then I did a lot of investigating before I started. Well, maybe I started buying, and then I started investigating because as soon as I saw you could purchase original art and that I knew that it was one of a kind, I was like, oh my God, I got to pick as much as I can right now because pricing is going to explode in this. And we're seeing that right now, you know.
oh yes, we are.
I'm glad I made a lot of purchases when I did, and I regret not doing others that I could have, you know.
Mm-hmm. So before there was a question from Rich Danes. He's never heard of those before. Which ones, Rich? Weren't you aware of? Was it the one? Because Heritage sells that comic art price guide through their site. You can still pick them up on eBay all the time. I think that's where I got my copy. And the Grail Pages one is available through Amazon.
Oh, that's a great book. I recommend it. It's got a lot of great art, and the mega collectors. Glenn is here. Will is here. I don't know if Mike is here, but there's a lot of heavyweights here. You know,
right. So that was the two of them. Yeah, I don't know where my copies are, but yeah, you can, if you go to Amazon and just search on comic art price guides, they'll come up there for sure, even if they don't have them in stock. But if you go to eBay as well and search for comic art price guide, you'll find Grail Pages will come up with that search as well. And that one was like maybe 6 years ago, maybe 7. It's been out there a while, but it's really the most recent of the books that have been published that have any kind of pricing information or information about the hobby.
Yeah, like Ruben states, there's three editions. I only got 2 of them. I got the 3rd edition, and I think this is the 1st edition. I don't know. I didn't get the 2nd one.
No,
I should look it up.
Yeah, I've got them all, but I don't have. I can't see them on my bookshelf. But they are out there, and I think though the one that you don't have is the hardest of the 3 to get.
And I don't know if there's any other book about original art collecting. I'd love to find out about it so I can purchase it, you know.
I know there was, I was contacted by somebody. I believe there is something out there that some gentleman took on the task of trying to keep up with current pricing. Like he was going to put, I don't know if he was going to, how he was selling it, whether he was selling it as a PDF or if what he was doing.
I got a free copy of that.
Okay, so that sounds familiar to you. Okay, I never talked with him. I emailed with him when he first started doing that 2 years ago, and I think he inquired about advertising on CAF, and then we never went beyond that because I don't think he had the first guide together. But that was his plan, was that he was going to publish an updated guide every 2 years. So
yeah, but there's a PDF. I got a free copy of it because I commented or did something that he was running.
Okay, yeah, and Larry Wilson is mentioning it's called Comic Art Trends, and there are 2 volumes out there, and a new one is on the way. And Patrick Bain, yes, that is the name of the person I emailed with. Yeah, Patrick Bain. So thank you, Larry.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so there is, so there's lots of different resources out there, but because one thing I've never really made CAF be a resource for collectors. It's a place for collectors to show off their stuff, but I've never really tried to. Yeah, I'm not. Gosh, I get asked a lot of stuff now that I'm on YouTube. People wanting to know a lot, the ins and outs of collecting and how to store their art and how to, what are some of the pitfalls that collectors can fall into. So I think that we're going to be doing more of that in the future, probably more through YouTube than writing articles on CAF. But those kinds of things are really indispensable, I think, for new collectors who are just trying to figure things out. So definitely something for other people to check out. And somebody who actually, Mr. Easy Go Lucky, wants to know what it is that you're drinking this evening, Tim.
The what? Oh, some whiskey. They brought me 5 liters of Johnny Walker, different brand. Yesterday, a guy from Mexico came, and they brought me. So
there you go.
Limited edition. We're trying it out.
Well. Trying it out on the show is a good thing. I should start doing that. I would be a lot more relaxed. Let's see. Oh, and let's see. Ruben mentions that the first edition of the Weiss Price Guys was in 1992.
So yeah, that was that one, man. Because this is 2000. So he did it maybe because the next one is 2011, 8 to 11 years each one. But imagine doing all this info. How much time, Oh my God.
Well, it's
Incredible.
thank goodness we have the internet. Now we can
Yeah.
search Heritage's pricing history on their site anytime that we want. And I know books have somewhat become, I wouldn't say they're obsolete, but boy, it's just not a printing world anymore where everybody wants to actually have a physical copy. I mean, 20 years from now, when my kids are in their 40s, they're gonna read everything on their phone, and they don't care about having the books anymore. But because there'll just be resources like CAF's market data and that sort of stuff that allows people to do their pricing searches and things. So
Alex Johnson, my friend Alex Johnson, has a great piece on how to look original art values. It's great. He's posted it on the CGC boards, so that's good information. He always shares it when somebody's asking how to price original art.
Right, he has that long kind of cut and paste that covers all different aspects of getting started in the hobby, how to research pricing, where to no. Alex did a very good job putting all that together. He needed to mention CAF in it a few more times, but I won't hold that against him. He definitely he has a wide swath of things that he has in there. But Alex and I get along very well, and I'm very happy that he put us in there.
Me out get pieces. He helped me out pick a piece from Peter Gross in Texas.
Oh wow!
Yeah. He travels a lot too. He's been all over the world for conventions, I think.
No, he definitely does. I don't think I've ever met Alex. Well, I mean, I'm sure I will one day. So I did want to ask you before I forget that. So when you were at the show in Baltimore, was that the only piece of art you bought? Was the Williams piece, or did you buy more than that?
I bought it online. Online. Yeah, because I went to Baltimore in 2007, and
oh, okay, I get
it. But I started purchasing until 2009, when I think I went back to Baltimore that year or the next. It's one of the places conventions I've been visiting most. Baltimore and LA, because I've got friends over there, so I travel and I stay with them.
Right. Well, Bashara puts on that LA Comic Art Show. I mean, I don't know I know he had one in the fall, and I think he tried to do it
in 2018.
Oh, you did? Okay.
The LA show.
Yeah. How was that? Because I've never made it out to those.
Oh, so many great pieces.
Yeah.
I brought a piece I wanted to trade, but when I saw everything that everybody had there, I was too ashamed to even ask. I brought it back, and I ended up trading it with Federico Bettini in Italy. Yeah.
Well, Federico only gets the good stuff, so you must have had good stuff to trade. You were just intimidated. You should have you've laid it out there. I guarantee you, there's always interest in looking at other collectors' portfolios. Yeah.
I traded it for several pieces, and he sells it almost everything, I think, because he ended up trading it to Mike Berkey, and was
so in a roundabout.
Yeah,
that's funny. That is funny.
From El Salvador to Italy,
and then back to Ohio.
In the States. Yeah, it was in the States. It came to El Salvador, went to Italy, and then it went back to the States.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So it's been around.
Oh, that's true. And here's one other thing. Since we were talking about different books, I should always mention the CFA APA, the Comic and Fantasy Art Amateur Press Association. There aren't many of those copies out there because whenever you get them, the people tend to not let them go. But they're great reads no matter which volume you would get. Sometimes, I mean, I remember when I was writing for them, we did an issue on Frank Miller. I can't even remember. I don't even remember what else we wrote about. I only did it for six volumes, but it's really cool. It literally is like that thick because it's got 60 contributors who tend to write, and they all tend to write 5 to 10 pages. So you end up having this 250 page, specially bound book and they put it together. They ship it out to the people who wrote for it, but they sometimes will make it out onto eBay, and they're definitely worth picking up because the information in those volumes is just incredible, and the people that write for them are far more knowledgeable than I am about the hobby. And I mean,
But if you're a member, don't you have to write for it?
You do. That's why I ended up stopping after I couldn't keep up. Even though it was it was 3 times a year, I simply could not keep the pace up to write a 5 to 10 page article 3 times a year. So I mean, maybe when I retire, I'll be happy to go back and write for them because it would be fun. And I was approached by them. I mentioned the CFA APA a few weeks ago when I was talking with Jeff Singh, and
I emailed him after that.
Oh yeah. About what?
Yeah, after you spoke about them, I emailed them. But the membership is limited. I haven't heard back from them.
Yeah,
hopefully I can get in about 10 years.
That's the trick. So they keep it limited, and everybody has to contribute. Yeah. You have to contribute to stay in. And but they did tell me. So they reached out to me and said that they've been doing these. I don't know. Past member bios, and so they asked me if I wanted to do one, and they said if you'll put together a brief bio to be in the book, then they'll actually give me the copy. I'll get a copy of it when my bio appears in the book. So I guess around September or October, I will be in that edition, and I'll get my copy. So that'll be pretty cool.
Okay, you got to post it up in CAF then.
I will. Yeah. I will. Well, I'll show it off.
You can read the article, You've done a lot for the hobby, That's also other things. When I started out, I started researching, and I don't know if you can look up what date I subscribed to Comic Fans, but it was in 2009, but I don't know the exact date.
Well, I can tell you the month. If I look in your CAF gallery, it would have been May 2009.
May. So that's a month after I bought my first piece. And then my second piece, I bought 2 pieces. Guess from who? From Marc from Lieber.
Oh, from Marc.
Joker. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did pick the Joker piece. So,
it's beautiful.
It is without question. No. And Marc's a great guy, and Lee's a great. I've met Lee many times.
Yeah. I've helped a friend of mine purchase from him because he knows me. I've always done monthly payments, and that time I purchased 2 Joker pieces, and he sent them all the way to El Salvador. Yeah.
Well, it was a little cheaper to mail things back in 2009 than it is now.
It's always expensive,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And
I'd rather not spend and get it right now and wait and travel. So I get to go to a con, spend time with my friends.
Right.
Take my family out,
Mm-hmm. But we were talking before in the green room, and you had said that you typically have a lot of your purchases shipped to a friend in LA versus having it shipped to El Salvador, so that you end up having to make these trips up to LA to pick up the comics, the art. I mean, that's got to be, that would drive me crazy if you know that something you really want to see is miles away, at your friend's place. But it saves money though, right?
Care of them.
He
takes good care of them, He even helps me out with my sales on eBay. But right now, with the changes in the eBay policies, I don't know what I'm gonna do. When I first started collecting original art, I decided, well, okay, I'm gonna do the CGC stuff, and I'm gonna do it so I can sell the comics in order to purchase art.
Right.
But when I got them back, and they were encapsulated, I was like, oh my God, these are so beautiful. I can't sell this. So it's like, it's a new addiction,
Right.
I got a room full of comics. Just yesterday, with the company I'm working with, I bought some used racks that they were selling because new they're like $200, and I bought like 3 for $200. And so now I need to put all my boxes in there and now I'll have more space for more comics. But I really need to stop buying comics. I can't. It's just too much, you know. I can't
Right.
afford everything, you know.
Yeah, no, I trust me. Well, almost everybody who was into comics and switched to arts, they sell all their comics to so they can buy more art. Art, yeah,
I've
you can.
I've sold some comics I regret selling, you know, to
Yes,
pay
no.
bills, you know.
Well, you gotta. I mean, sometimes certain things are just too valuable to keep, and if they can pay important bills off, I mean, like I told you, I sold. I sold all my good stuff to fund a mini golf, and I will regret that for the rest of my life. Especially seeing the
Yeah,
prices on
because
art today.
well, art is one of a kind, you know. You can't
Yeah,
replace it. But a comic, you can get it, even if it's overpriced. You know, it's like 10 times
right,
what you paid, but you can get it. But if you sold one piece and it goes into a black hole collection, you'll never get it back. You know.
right. No, that's true. I mean, when I sold off all my comics, I just bought all the trades, and so I pretty much have, you know, 50 trades of all my favorite comics and comic stories, and so I'm happy with that versus having the comics now. And
I don't know.
yeah,
It's not for me. You know, I hate trades. I like the comic book format.
I
32 pages, you know, the bounding, the storing it, having it in box. I don't know. It's I'm weird that way.
no, no. Well, of course. I mean, from a nostalgic, side of things, I'd much rather be holding a comic book versus the trade. But just the reality being that I know I can't own everything, and so trades are fine for me now. Yeah, and Ruben mentions the mini golf as well. That's my albatross. So I should tell everybody I am actively trying to sell the mini golf right now, just because Dueling Dealers is going so well, and I can tell you I'll be making more money doing Dueling Dealers than I will ever making making people happy owning a miniature golf course. So my goal is to actually have it sold by September. I've been talking with somebody in the town that I live in was actively trying to buy it a few years ago, so they're still interested. So my hope is mini golf will be gone, and that will be off my plate, and then I can pretty much just devote all my time to CAF and Comic Art Live and stop dealing with the mini golf, which I love, but it's time. 14 years doing that is probably 4 years more than I should have kept at it.
You can do daily shows now if when you get rid of it.
I definitely can, because I got to work there tomorrow from 12 to 8 o'clock because I don't have an employee yet this year. I'm sure everybody's heard this. It's really hard to get employees this year. Usually every year I'd have about 10 applications turned in from high
Mhm.
schoolers or kids that are coming back from college or something. I don't have a single one. So, and I've never seen anything like this, but I've heard it from other brick and mortar establishments that they're just literally not getting people to want to come in and work, and it's probably COVID related in part. But man, yeah, I'm dreading going through this whole season if I can't get 2 or 3 people extra to help me out, because I'm going to be stuck there way more than I want to be this summer. So yes, fingers crossed that I can get a hire in there soon.
But
So,
how is business doing? Do you get a lot of
uh,
customers in yet?
well, not when we got the 5 inches of snow 2 days ago, but yeah, I mean, I've had, we're actually probably up 100% over where we should be, just because it's a business that people don't mind going to because it's outdoors, and as long as we keep everything properly cleaned and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I had a great year last year, believe it or not, even though I was closed 2 months out of the year. So yeah, I fully expect to have a great year this year. That's why I told the person, I said, I'll sell it to you for this much right now, or I'll sell it for a little less if you want to buy it in September, October, because I'm thinking that we'll probably have this
After the season.
after the season's over. I'll have this nice pile of cash in the bank, and and I'll discount it for them, and I'll be happy to help them get started next year, just to go through everything. But yeah, and they were cool with that. They were like, all right, if I can get it for that much less, I'll wait. And I said that's great, because I'll make more money by selling it in September, October.
After, yeah.
So there you go. I make it an attractive
You
price,
shouldn't
and I
tell them
walk.
that though, because
Well, no,
they're going to
hey,
ask for an extra discount. You know.
no way. It's already at a good discount. But yeah, so that's how I'm working that deal. But I told him, I'm like, if you were smart, you'd buy it right this minute, because you'll make money if you buy it now. You're going to lose money when you buy it at the end of the year, because it'll be closed for 6 months. but they're happier with the lower price. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'd be happy selling it right now, so I could just be focused on all the stuff that we've been doing and not think one more minute about that. But hey, that's my story. We're here to hear
Oh
more
my
about.
God! When you sell it, we're gonna get so much more information from you. I can't read everything you send as is right now. I can't imagine
No,
when you sell it.
I'm ready. I am definitely ready. But yeah, it's probably going to be the fall, unfortunately. But that's all right though. So after the first purchase which was again was 12 years ago today. I mean, you've got a lot of incredible artwork in your collection. So I assume you hit the ground running. I mean, you had the books to back you up, but it seems like you must have really just bought everything that you really liked. I mean, how did that happen that you just went into it so quickly?
I read a lot, I know what I
Yeah.
like, but it's not that it hasn't been that way every time. I made a couple of purchases, and I made a couple of sales. I once made a sale for a couple of, what was it, 4 or 5 pieces, because I needed money to fund a couple of Death of Wolverine pieces from McNiven that I bought from,
Hmm.
who represents McNiven, McNagan. I can't remember right now. I can look it up in my database.
So you got
But I
everything
sold a
there.
couple of pieces, but I lost money with them.
Oh,
And
so you bought them, and then when you sold them, you lost money.
Spencer. Yeah, yeah. When I sold them, I lost like a $200 on them, but I did well because I was able to purchase the Death of Wolverine pieces, even though they're just inks.
Right.
They're blue line prints with inks on, J. Lepstein inks,
I have
but they
to.
came with an 8.5 by 11 prelim of one panel.
Huh. That's a weird. Well, doesn't surprise. That's, you got to get creative when you're selling blue lined, inked artwork, right? I mean, that's one way to get it
Oh,
done.
he got creative. It came with an envelope numbered, uh, certificate, a print, um, the prelim, and the inks.
Hmm.
It was a great package. I still have both pieces. I might get rid of one eventually if I find the right customer. I need to
Yeah.
purchase more stuff from artists I don't have yet.
Yeah. Don't we all? That's the story of probably all of our lives. We need to get more art. And Chris says that we got to see some art. So why don't I start pulling up some art
Let's
pieces
go
from your
ahead.
collection, and we can
We
just
got
start
enough.
talking about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. This is Book of Lost Souls, unpublished cover from issue 7, I think. Yeah, the book went up to issue 6, and then I loved it a lot. It reminded me a lot of Sandman, very surreal.
Hmm.
So I contacted Colleen, and she told me she had this unpublished cover. And I went ahead and purchased it. I purchased, uh, I think, all the pages she had. Then I purchased from several issues. Let me look it up right now.
But yeah, this
But
is
it's a very
Colleen
nice
Duran.
cover. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the it's on a smaller size board,
I see that from your spreadsheet. It's 11 by 14.
11 by 14 exactly. Yeah, and I purchased around 6, 7 pages from issues 4, 5, and 2. But it was a really good book. Who was the writer? J. Michael Straczynski.
So yeah.
Straczynski, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you
I
bought
don't
these
know what.
this was bought directly from Colleen then?
Yeah, I don't know if you can do a close up. I had her inscribe them. when she sent the pages. You can see it here on the side.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't zoom in on him.
I can, yeah, I got him to sign everything, and to Tim with love. She put a lot of different stuff on everything single page she sent. But it was a great book. I don't know why they stopped publishing it.
Yeah.
Maybe Straczynski didn't have any more time to write it. Probably.
Well, that was back in 2005. I mean, that was really when he was very hot, right? I mean, as far as so he's probably in demand and just chose to focus on something else.
Yeah, but it was a really interesting premise on the story.
Mm-hmm. No, I love it. I love Colleen's work. So this is a nice one.
Yeah, and she does the pencils and inks. Both are done by her. So this is an unpublished cover.
Right, since this would have been the 7th issue that never came to be.
Never came to be. Yeah.
All right, now here is a artwork by Gary Frank.
Oh, Gary Frank, he's a master. He lives in Italy, I think.
Yes, he does.
Oh my God, he's such an awesome artist. He's exploded recently. Well, he's done great books. This is a great splash of the Parasite.
Oh heck yeah, it's frightening.
Yeah. It's yeah. I bought several pages from Secret Origins. I bid because everything is sold through eBay, and it's on auction format. And I bid on the last page from issue 1 when Superman first puts on the costume, but I lost that one. I think it's Fred Bronan that
Yes,
he
yeah,
bought
that's
a
Fred.
lot of pieces too.
Sorry, I'm keeping this up because my cat literally walked in here with a mouse, dropped it on the floor, and the mouse ran away.
Oh, what? No way.
Yeah.
It was still alive?
Yeah. And she's dumb enough that, I mean, it ran out the door and it's in the other room, but she's still looking around in here for it. So,
yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
You like cats? You like cats?
Well, I like them when they catch mice, but not when they just come in here and drop it.
Pets, I love cats.
I do. I have always had cats, but yeah, this one's not earning her keep right now. So so I may have to get up again, and if I do, I'll put a piece of art over the screen that you can talk about. She literally dropped it almost right on my foot, and then
it's like an offering they're making to you. It's interesting that you bring that up. I've had great talks with Kelly Jones about cats. He loves cats. So we chatted a lot on Facebook about cats, because he did a great Sandman issue about cats,
Yeah. And I picked a piece of Kelly's in here as well for you. Not the next one, but yeah, Gary Frank's work. I love his work, and he even sent me a sketch for free a few months back when he was just giving me a thank you for all the PR that I do for his eBay auctions. So yeah, that was really nice.
eBay auctions? Which ones? What's
like when with the Gary Frank, the Watchmen auctions and things like that. I've promoted for him.
Yeah, the Gary Frank. Yeah.
I mean, so I've been promoting those for like the last year and a half for him. Just not that he's asked me to. I just was doing it, and he sent me a sketch through as an appreciation for just all the extra eyeballs on the artwork that he's been selling. So very nice guy, absolutely.
I bought a cover from him too, World of Krypton cover, and I sold it to a guy in Italy, and like 6 months later, somebody's email messaging me through CAF that if I can take it down because I put it in the sold traded folder. And I was like, okay, if you can tell me just how much you bought it for. It ended up like he sold it like for 4 or 5 times what I sold it to him, and I was like, oh my God. Live and learn,
Right. No,
that'll teach you to sell your art.
Yeah, it's almost better not to ask what what a piece of art you used to own
I need
sold
to know,
for.
I need to know,
Yeah.
The-
Well,
the-
do you go in? Is there a column in your database for what it sold for after you?
if I can find out, I'll put it
Yeah.
in the database.
Yeah. Might as
It's
well,
just
right?
another column on the Excel sheet. I'll fill that up as much
Right.
as
Right.
I can.
I don't blame you. Hey, the more knowledge you have, the better. That's
Exactly.
that's the best thing with this hobby. That it is. It's the more you know, the better. The better collector you're going to be as far as being savvy on your purchases, and and just being able to know when is the right time to pull the trigger on pieces of art when they're getting offered to you.
Exactly. So it's time to do a plug for comic art fans. You gotta a
Well, yeah,
database
we
of
do. Yeah, we do have a database of a lot of art history in the market data. So it's not as
that's a
complete as
handy
it.
tool. It's a GPA of original art.
Right,
You can
right. No,
call
no. I
it.
mean, we do have eBay data back to I think 2008 now, and we have all of Heritage's data, and I have gone out and pulled in data from early profiles in history auctions. I've got some of Russ's old art auction information in there, so I try to make it as full as possible. But the thing is, you can never have enough resources when you're trying to find out, research pricing and stuff from the past. And I honestly use the market data as much to just see if something's ever been on the market versus knowing what it sold
Yeah.
for. Because a lot of people, when they're looking for something, and it's not on CAF and they can't find it in Heritage. I mean, it's good to just be able to go in there and poke around and just see if something that you really are looking for has ever been available. You might be able to find out who sold it last, which could be a lead. And with the dealers, everybody knows that a couple of years ago, we added into the market data, the dealer search. So and every dealer that I've hosted, we keep all of their sales history as well, that we know of. Only when it's publicly sold is it in our database. Like if Mike were to get a cover and sell it to somebody and it never was publicly made available, we don't record on that. But any public sales that have been done by dealers since, I've got Anthony's data probably back to 2005, same with Mike. And so yeah, there's just a lot of information in there. And for those guys, when you find something that they sold, they might be able to give you a lead on where it went afterwards. So yeah, very useful information in there. Thank you for the reminding me.
Ruben is commenting there about he's right. When after you sell it, it's a new owner and he can do whatever he likes, and more power to them if they can sell it for 5 times. And you're right, but I'd like to be the one that sells it for 5 times,
I know.
and that's why I don't like to sell my art. And when I get sell me your art messages, I first I ask, hey, you think we can do a trade? Because I'm just gonna use the money for comics or for art.
Right,
So
right.
if I can do a trade and get something else I really want, I've done
Mm-hmm.
more trades than sales on comic art, and I've loved it every time. Even when I've lost.
Wait, you said when we were talking earlier, you did
Yeah,
say that you had one time that you didn't like
yeah.
the trade that you did.
Because
So,
I gave up a piece that I shouldn't have. I miss it.
right. So, well, you're allowed to lament one transaction that you wish you could take back.
Because
Yeah.
that's why I keep stuff on CAF, because like I was telling you earlier, I don't post everything I have on CAF because the pieces I really love and I'm not willing to trade or sell, I don't post them. Why?
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to show them, but because I want to avoid the temptation of somebody coming with another piece and like, here, I can offer you this, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be too hard, and then I'm gonna do the trade, and afterwards, I'm gonna be, oh, I shouldn't have done that.
Right, right.
I'm
Well,
gonna
no, I think,
regret it.
yeah, I know a lot of collectors that keep their, the stuff that they want to not have any inquiries on. They'd rather keep them off CAF, and I don't blame you at all for wanting to do that, because I wish I owned pieces of art that I wanted to keep off CAF.
Yeah,
Some I will soon, but that's the truth, though. I think that's perfectly fine. I think there's always this idea that the art's worth more if people haven't seen it in a while, which I think the way the hobby's going today, we could say that's probably not as true today as it might have been 10 or 15 years ago. Because if you've got good art, it's always going to claim, a high dollar over market value. And having it been on, been seen on CAF for the last 5 or 10 years doesn't make any difference. Does anybody not covet everything in Dave Mandel's collection as much as they did the first time they saw it? Absolutely not. Is it going to make his artwork any less valuable? Heck no.
Of course not.
Right,
I
exactly.
wish I written for Seinfeld too.
So that's my point. Is like, I know that a lot of collectors feel like they'd rather hide the good stuff because they think it'll help it be more valuable. But I think at the end of the day, especially today, I don't think it matters that much. I mean, somebody might, who does it matter to? It matters to the guy that's going to negotiate with you, saying, that's been on CAF for the last 10 years. Yeah, you might think it's worth 15, and maybe it's worth 15, but I'll offer you 12 because it's been out there for a while. It's the buyer who's trying to convince you it's worth less, that for that reason. But again, today I don't see that. I wouldn't buy it. I'd say go talk to some green noob collector who doesn't know what they're talking about. They don't know the ins and outs of the hobby, because anybody who approaches you with that kind of an angle is just trying to find a way to get the art for less. And I would just shut them down the moment that the conversation starts in that direction. That's my advice to everybody.
I'm always trying to get art for less,
Well, we all are.
We need a lot of money to buy more art. It's not that we're stingy and not know that it's worth as much as they're asking for. You need every dollar you can get for more art,
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know.
And I've never done it that way, about thinking, if I post it, it's gonna be out there and everybody's gonna know I've had it for 10 years, because I do share in a couple of small groups, one of which you're in,
Right.
And I share everything there because I've got no grief. Nobody's nagging me, hey, sell me this, trade me this, I've never had that problem in those smaller secret groups,
Right. Well, a lot of people are agreeing with the comments we've just made about it. Yeah, that the market's just too strong. That you can't say that the art's not fresh. I mean, like Ruben mentioned that it's true, and that argument just doesn't work anymore from either side. The buyer can't say it, and the seller shouldn't be thinking of it that way, because just look at the Infinity Gauntlet page sales recently. I mean, it's just crazy. And the thing is, those prices are getting realized. I mean, I would never have thought that would be where those pages would be last year. I would never thought that that's where they'd be today. And yet, it's just
you're
amazing.
Talking about the George Paris pages, because there's some Rum Lim.
Yeah. The Perez pages in particular, for sure. Those are, but even a lot of Ron's pieces are selling for a very pretty penny right now as well.
That's the one I traded to Federico. I got 2 more though.
So that was the regret.
Infinity War. No.
That wasn't there. Okay.
No. Because I didn't want it. I had 3. I got 3 in a trade, and I was like, okay, I gotta get rid of 1. I got too much, because I got other Ron Lim pieces from Silver Surfer, which, oh my God, I love them, because I read them when I was 15 years old.
Right.
God knows how much those are going for right now.
Yeah, no. It's a seller's market. That's for sure. But that's what's crazy about it. It's shaking out a lot of artwork that you didn't think people were going to let go of, but and it's probably just because some people think we're like we hear all the time that we're hitting this market bubble. But I don't know. I know that COVID has kept everybody at home, and it's helped move the prices along a little bit without shows and everything. But I think this is just the natural progression of the hobby, and and the market and the pricing. I don't think we're really going to ever see it.
It was the way it was the way I was predicting it to be when I first learned about original art. It's like this thing is gonna blow, man. You gotta get in on the ground floor, and I wasn't on the ground floor in 2009. I could have bought a page in '94 when I went to my first con. I met Chris Claremont, Joe Quesada, there was all this Neil Gaiman
Mm.
stuff that was out there with a comic company that went out of business. Tech, I can't remember the name.
I'm not sure. Well, why don't we look at some
But if
more art
I
so we can
let's
show
go, let's
off
go.
these great pieces that you did manage to purchase that even I didn't know were in your collection.
Oh, that's a Libermejo piece. I love that piece. You know, it's
No, that's a
like
beauty.
and yeah, this is when you miss the word balloons. You know, huh?
Oh yeah.
It's the word balloon is feel my muscle. You know, and it's Joker putting his bicep out, but
Uh
it's not his muscle that's got to be measured. It's Killer Croc's in the back.
huh.
Huh? It's a Paulo Bermejo is such a lovely artist, you know. And there were two other pages that were on sale back then, and I wanted to purchase them, and I didn't. And after that, he just exploded with a Batman penis, you know.
Oh yeah. No, that is quite true. But yeah,
And
this
there,
is a beauty. I mean, I love Bermejo's work, and this is a fantastic piece of art. I mean, I'm very envious. I love everything that that he was doing around this time. I mean, that's when I first met him at San Diego because Mark Hay refs him, and so I got to
yeah.
watch him do a lot. Do a lot of sketching at the show, and yeah, I regret not picking up anything. I didn't buy any published work from him. I picked up a few
Oh, you
like
should have.
I picked up like a few prelims. I got him to do a couple convention sketches for me, but I never picked up any published work. So I
Oh,
regret that very much so.
well, I love prelims. If you want to trade, we can trade them. I like Joker, you know, because with the Harley Quinn he did on that series is so good. And I got
yeah,
a piece that has a tiny panel with her on it, but there's two pages that I really want from that issue, and I've contacted them, the owners, but they're not. Were not willing to sell or trade them before Bermejo's exploded, you know. And
right.
and now that he has, I I really don't think I could afford it unless I give up some of the art I picked out for today, you know. But I don't know if I'm willing to give that up.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. And it's unfortunate because Lee's been doing a bit of digital work lately and not as much
Oh,
traditional. And
as
that's
long as he doesn't go into NFTs.
right. Well, you can't do anything with DC at the moment, but because of the cease and desist they put out there on everybody. But yeah, I know that Mark Hay wishes that there was a little bit more new art coming out from Lee, but what are you gonna do, right? Everybody's got to kind of follow their own calling. I mean, Lee had a very unique style, and I like his digital work too. I mean, it's not something we can collect, but it's just as beautiful as his traditional work in its own way. So
Of course, you know,
yeah,
it's just easier for them to do it digitally, supposedly. Well, from what
right,
I know, I've never
right.
been. I love art,
Well,
but I've never been an artist myself. You know.
right. Well, I remember Lee always talked about it. He was just he was slow by nature, just the way his style was and the way he worked, and it took up a lot of time. So you figure that eats into your family time and everything else, and so if you can do it twice as fast doing the work digitally, and DC's going to pay you the same, then and you're not worried about the aftermarket for your art sales, then I mean, I'm not saying that's Lee's perspective, but I would like to think that that's probably the perspective of a lot of artists if they're not worried about it. So you never know. But
Yeah.
here, I've got another piece here.
Oh, thanks for picking this one up. This is a Doc Minch piece, a
Yeah,
major bomber. That was such a fun series. Such a fun series. I bought this off of Bill Reinhold,
yeah,
and I asked him for a letter about the provenance of the piece, and he sent me a letter that he did a trade with Doug for one of his pieces, and supposedly Doug has been picking them up, and there's nothing out there in the market uh, from Major Bummer. It was such a fun series, and DC also cut it off. It didn't end properly, I think. And this is a cover, you know. I'd love to
Right.
get an interior page, but I got a cover.
Even better.
Yeah,
Well,
even better.
yeah. Well, Harry Mendrick says Major Brahma was great, and he loves this artwork. I have to agree. I don't think that I've seen much work from that series either. So
You
yeah,
can't because he picked it up. I think he sold some pages, and then he was like regretting it, and either he bought them or traded them for other pages.
hmm. Well, that's some beauty.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, very nice. This is another Dog Pinch piece.
Yes.
Um, hmm. Recently, I got in contact with another collector who had another page from this issue and wanted to trade, but he was like trying to teach me, oh, these pages like from run from like 5K or up. Yeah, I know, I got a piece, but I bought this a long time ago. I think there was also an eBay purchase. I really got it cheap at current prices, you know, and it's a
Mhm.
lovely, lovely page.
So this is from
Uh,
Batman 641.
641, yeah, when Red, when
It was
uh,
Red Hood.
Red Hood comes out.
Yeah.
He finds out in this issue it's Tim, isn't it?
Yeah. I believe it was in this issue. No, this is a great page.
Yeah, very good. That's why I put two from him, because you couldn't leave one or the other out. Very
Right.
lovely page. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I agree, and I don't think I've in any of the conversations we've had before that we've featured an artwork by Doug, and that's why when I saw that I was like, I'm gonna pick them both.
Oh, this is a lovely piece.
This is a great Bagley.
A Bagley 375.
Yeah.
Yes, Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters, you know. And
Hmm.
I don't know why I don't have as many pages from Spider-Man, because it's he's my favorite character. And Superman, I like Superman, but it's not like I'm a super fan of Superman. And I've got a lot more pages from Superman. I don't know why.
Hmm.
It's weird, but this is an amazing page. This is another eBay purchase. It's one. It's one an early purchase when I first started collecting. Let me check what year it was back then. I
Tim
had
trying to look.
another one. Oh yeah, this was from November 2009. So the very first year, I was very lucky to land this.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah, and that Venom close up you have is also a trading card, I think.
Well, it should be if it's not. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it is, and well, if you're into hype, if I were willing to cash in on the piece, Anne Wei is there, Venom's wife, and he's saving Peter Parker's parents.
Wow, this is a great one.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I really love it. You know, I was really lucky to land this page.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm finding, so you actually, a lot of your purchases have come through eBay. So do you regularly scour eBay, just looking for some hidden gems that nobody else is seeing?
Not really, you
Yeah.
know. I did most of my purchases through eBay because being international, it's easier for me.
Right.
But I like to purchase directly from the artist. If you show a couple of pieces, I'll talk about them. I've
Mhm.
had contact with artists from Europe, and one of them is repped by Mark Hay, and I talked with the artist directly and made an agreement, and he talked with Mark afterwards, and I bought everything he had from the series.
Wow, that's good. Makes it easy for everybody then.
Yeah, he got his money. I got my art.
Well, the art of negotiation. Well, let me pull up another artwork here.
Oh, Chris Evans piece. I
Yes.
think this is an eBay purchase too. Oh, hold
Man,
on.
maybe I'm just
eBay
picking eBay purchases.
purchase. Published art. Let me see where I have it. Evans. No. Yeah, this is a lovely piece. I think the owner had this piece colored, and I don't know why he sold it, but it's a really lovely Green Goblin. Yeah, it's an eBay purchase from 2013. Yeah, and I don't know why he sold it. It's published in one of his sketchbooks. I got it. I got one and was remarked with a Captain America. I've got it somewhere there in my in my extensive comic book collection. And then I got one recently from a headshot from Felix, Desire.
Hmm.
That's really nice too. That's in LA. I haven't seen it. Oh no, that that's in still in Felix's hands because I bought a Paul Pope cover, the Stevens headshot of it was Destiny or Desire. I can't recall, and and I'm still waiting on Ryan Stegman commission.
Oh
He
wow.
hasn't finished yet. Yeah, another headshot. But
Yeah.
those headshots have been turning into covers.
Oh yeah. No.
Every
Well,
time
that's.
I ask Felix, he's like, "If you want your money back, I can give it." And I'm waiting.
No, you're
I'm
gonna wait.
sitting it out.
No,
Yeah,
this.
I want the piece because otherwise, if I back down on that, I'm never getting a Stegman piece.
No. No.
Felix is
That's
such
for
a
sure.
magician for for making his artists. Well, they're good artists, but he's got a knack for everything he does. The podcasts, they're
Oh yeah.
fun.
I know. I try to talk with Felix once a week, and yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic promoter of the artists that he
Yeah.
works with. He's done a great job for, I mean, in general, for the whole hobby. I mean, with all the work that he's done with the podcasts and just elevating the modern creators to get, even better rates for their art, which is in some ways isn't great for us as collectors, but it's certainly what they deserve. So yeah, I mean, and I've heard the similar things. He said, yeah, sometimes I'll let people know if they want their money back because they got to wait. I'll offer it, but nobody ever does. Sorry, that's just, like you say, there's so many pieces that come out of those commissions that either become covers or they're really just super enviable pieces that other collectors, love looking at. I mean, all the James Herron artwork that from the commissions that he's done have just been fantastic, and we feature a lot of those on the show. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm sure it's
I
going to be
missed
amazing.
once. I missed out on a Silver Surfer Black
Hmm.
page from
From Trad.
Tradmore,
Yep.
and I emailed him, kind of upset. I was like, "Oh, you sold it to somebody that wasn't going to make a time payment," and he took the time. He gave me his personal phone number, and I called him. We talked, and he was like, "What? Why wouldn't I want to sell to you? Every customer is the same." And I felt good after that. You miss some, you win some.
Right. I mean, well,
But those art drops he does sell like crazy right now. I got a
yeah,
Tradmore page from Venom, which was only one issue he did. So
yeah.
at least I got something because I don't
Most
think I'll
most people
ever.
have nothing. That's the thing. Most people, can't, they always get shut out of the Tradmore artwork. So
Yeah,
it is what it
he's a
is.
good
But no,
artist. Hmm.
right. Well, yeah.
And he had so much backlash from that art from Silver Surfer Black because it's surreal art.
Hmm.
It's a different type of art, you
Right.
know, and and well, he could become the next McFarlane, on the long run,
Right.
because
Right.
he's doing something that nobody's ever done, and
Yeah.
it
No, I
brings such
completely agree.
controvery
Hmm.
to it attracts itself to attention.
Right. Okay. I saw that, Ruben. I will ask, but I was going to say that the comments about Felix. Felix, he actually asked me if it was okay, not to blame me for guys like you, Tim, not getting artwork, but he mentioned me in one of his recent emails saying, Bill wrote the code that manages the art drops, and he can let you know that it is as fair as possible, because we always built the system. Well, I built it when we built the art dealer sites. Our goal was to we expected the art dealers to pretty much remove the art when it was sold, or at least put on hold, kind of a thing. And really, most art dealers didn't want that. They wanted a more open-ended system such that they could, get the offer on the art. Maybe they'd leave it up for an extra day and get maybe one extra offer just in case the first person fell through. So the system was sort of built that way, and we never built it with the concept of someone like Felix coming in and doing art drops where all the art was going to sell out in 10 minutes. But our system
10
still
minutes?
worked.
No. 5 minutes.
Five minutes.
All
right.
He does crazy art drops,
Yeah, and the thing is, I know that that our code wasn't rock solid, and I can tell you, well, obviously everybody knows it is now, but there was a point in time when people could fish around in the code, by changing ID numbers on artwork, and I knew it was happening, and I finally went to Felix and said, "Listen, Felix, do you want me to fix this so that some people don't have an edge on other collectors? Because I know, because I've been told that some people are going out there, and let's see, you're smiling. You knew about it. People were going in there and just plugging in ID numbers and waiting. And so they wait till that art drop time, and that thing was already in their cart because they were waiting for it to happen and wanted to wait right until that noon Eastern time hit or whatever. And
no, I'm always at the art drops on the second. I'm like refreshing the page when they drop.
Well,
I send the email. I got one. It's in there. I got a Riley Rosmo page. That's it's not a first tap, but it's a.
But yeah, so at any rate, so the two things that the one thing I did was I made it so people couldn't look at the art before it dropped, because our code was allowing people to do that, which in my mind made it unfair. And yeah, people were doing that.
You see the art before the drop?
They were, early on. Well, and I can't tell you.
How do people get to know that?
It would have been a small number of people, but there were people who would, because collectors in this hobby will do just about anything to get an advantage on other collectors, and so they found this out. It came back to me. I found out about it, and I went to Felix and just said, "Can I program so that can't happen anymore?" And he was like, "Heck yeah, do it." And so.
You need to do that,
right? Because that wasn't.
You need to be fair.
Yeah, and I did that. Gosh, it was probably like 4 months ago, but so it had been going on for probably a year or two with at least a small group of people who were in the know. So there you go, guys. I stuck it to you because I was unhappy with the fact that I knew how upset people were when they weren't getting art from Felix's art drops.
Of course, I was really upset I didn't get that Silver Surfer page, And I was like picking the first thing that was there. I was like, I'm going to get this at least, All
right.
I was laughing because Chris Snorick was posting 10 seconds.
10 seconds,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
It really,
and that's just it. Everybody needs an edge, and so that's all. So I made it more fair, and I didn't give that programming to anybody else because it's really only Felix that has that problem, And so I think I did fix it. Oh, I did fix it on Albert's site too, because I know that people were scoping out, like when he would announce he's going to do a Bruce Timm art drop. Everybody, there was some people who would use the same method on Albert's because it had the same flaw. So I fixed it on Albert's too. So. There you go. But anyways,
the great thing you just did with Albert, taking the sold pieces from that's great.
Isn't that great? I mean, because as a buyer, I only want to be looking at art I can buy, not art that's already gone. So yeah, we're.
I love to look at it, but knowing that I've lost on some of it is too much. He had a Bermejo Dark Side piece. Well, maybe within a 6 month time.
Yeah.
And I lost on it. And it's like, I wanted that piece so much. It was beautiful.
Yes. And Albert will sell art ahead of his art drops. I know that too. But yeah, so that is a very cool thing. And I can tell you, I'm working on a redesign for his site, and I'm working on a redesign for Anthony's site too. Anthony has one of the oldest websites that we ever built. And it is so backwards that, I mean, as everybody would know, if you go to his site and you do a search, it doesn't even order by new. It orders by title, and you can't reorder it. Like show me, order by price or order by new. His site is so terrible. I can't figure out how anybody can find anything to buy on that site.
You're not doing his site?
No, I am. I'm actually working on it right now. And
come on, that's bad publicity for your site.
Well, but all I can
say, you weren't.
No. Well, his site was built by me 15 years ago, and he's never let me update.
Oh, why?
Well, he'd ask me, but then he wasn't really serious, and so finally, he has to be
serious because he's got a lot of
oh my god,
sales from the dueling dealers,
right. Bill, don't work on it until he gets paid. Don't worry. The thing is, I'm working on his site right now, and it's amazing how much. Actually, Anthony has a lot of good stuff, but you can't find it on his site today. And with these filters that I've put in on the search and a few other places, it's like night and day. And Anthony's scared because he's looking at it, and it's like going to be this modern-looking site with it's mobile friendly and everything. And he's like, Bill, I don't know if we should do this. And I'm like, Anthony, we're doing it. I've already started. People are going to love it. You're going to sell at least twice as much stuff through the site than you did before because nobody can find anything. So yeah, you can expect that probably in the next couple of weeks. That'll be really nice to see because even I'm happy because
I purchased several pieces from Anthony too. I've met him at Baltimore too. I've met Spencer too.
Mm-hmm.
I've met him there in Baltimore too.
So hey, before we move on, Ruben wanted me to ask you: is there a comic art collecting kind of?
I saw that post.
Is there one, or are you it?
I'm it.
You're it. All right, that answers the question right there.
Basically, I'm it. But we have a Comic-Con here. It's not too comic centric. I sell comics there. I don't sell that much. I sell more through eBay than what I sell here. But I'm always buying comics, and I tell my wife, okay, I'm buying comics so I can sell them here. But I never do. They're not buying them. I've offered $40 comics, and like people here are, well, it says over here they're 99 cents. Okay, go get me 100 copies and I'll buy them for twice as much. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Makes perfect sense.
They're making a show the weekend before the comicartlive, and I'm gonna be there as a vendor. And the owner is a friend of mine, and he's been to my house. I've shown him the art. He wants me to show it at the show. I haven't talked with him. I'm not sure I'm gonna do it.
Right.
But it would be nice for people to look at it.
Right. I mean, just if you were just using it as a means to kind of show people what the art looks like. I mean, if they're there to buy comics, I mean, it's why not? And where you're at, it might be the only opportunity they might have to actually see some original comic art. So, but hey, I'll show you what Anthony's site's going to look like. Sort of. It's not really done yet, but I can actually just pop it up here. And
okay, show us.
Yeah. So I mean, this it's not done yet, but it's just it's kind of a start. But like if you actually go to, I just pulled up Assad as somebody to look at where, so it's going to have all the filters that you got on Albert's site now, where you can just pick it out and say, I want to see all 500 or less, or I want to see things between 500 and 2,500, nice and fast. And, and I can, right now I'm ordering it by date. I can order it by, price highest to lowest.
I see that Apocalypse piece he had yesterday.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Really nice. It's sad. He's a great artist. I put in a prelim I got from him. From a great series.
But at any rate, so there you go. Anthony is going to get an upgrade, and it's going to be really nice, and it's going to make it actually easy to find things. It'll be happily mobile friendly and all that. And even if I drag him kicking and screaming into the 21st century, it will be worth it to have done it. So
when is it? 2 weeks from now?
I'm hoping it's going to be done in 2 weeks. Right now, Maureen is still in Florida, so it's kind of been going a little bit slower, but she gets back next Wednesday, and I'd like to get it wrapped up probably within a week after she gets back here in Ohio. So yeah, but I can tell you, it's so much better than his current site. This site is so terrible. It made me cry.
Anthony, 500 and less.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah, that's true.
Well, he needs to advertise it, like do an art drop. He has Riley Brown, I think, as an artist. It's at Rebek.
Yeah.
I don't know which others.
Right. And Riley's getting really hot right now. So, right. Well, he needs it just to stay competitive. Oh, but here, I'm going to show it again just because
I don't know. I can't explain that he doesn't want to update his site when he's done 1 or 2 shows. He was with Mike with a New York show doing some live art shows and comic sales. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, right. He did. He set up his own little art sale or art show that he's tried to do. But anyways, so you can see on here, like it seems like his site doesn't have a lot of links, right? Because the site has 1,000 links on it today. But underneath the comic art thing, I've set it up so you can sort everything by price. You can jump to just covers and interiors or his repped artists. So it's going to be totally slick. And I think once it's out there, I'll probably end up having a few other dealers that want me to upgrade their sites too, because I'm just really happy with it. It just kind of came together that I found something that worked well for the dealers. And I mean, because this is an upgrade from sites like Felix has as well. And Albert's going to get pretty much a similar back end and front end kind of version of the site. So yeah, good things are coming.
He's gonna be glad once it's out. He'll see the difference.
Oh yeah, no, he'll again. I don't know how anything sells on his site today. So yes, this is going to be wonderful. All right, but let's look at some more art.
Well, that's good for the ones that are really like you go into the site and look through everything. Not everybody has that.
Well, right. Well, like I said, I went in there looking for art the other day, and I typed in X-Men, and when I realized it was sorting by alpha, I mean, it was just terrible. There was like 30 pages. I don't know. Probably wasn't 30 pages, but might have been 25 pages, and I had to go through every page to find what I was looking for because I couldn't refilter the list. So anyways, enough talking about that.
Okay.
Let's look at some more good artworort before we have to.
Art. Okay.
Yes, more great art.
Do I have any?
You got a few. You got a few pieces in there.
Okay. That's a great piece.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Demon and Joker. There's no Batman there, but that's a great piece. Kelly is such a great artist. Another one of the thousands of great artists we have.
Well, without question. This is from Batman 545 with John Beatty's inks as well.
John Beatty, yeah.
Beatty, sorry.
Yeah. Beatty. I don't know. You should be able to pronounce it better than I do.
Yeah, well, Ruben's going to correct one of us in a minute because he knows. Yes, and absolutely, Jordan. I'm with you on that
545, yeah, page 15.
Yep.
This is on but it's a DC artboard, so it should be bigger than 11 by 17. I've got to measure this. It's got to be half an inch bigger if it's a DC artboard because they don't fit in the 11 by 17 Itoyas. The only ones they fit in are on the Anthony's HTP Itoyas, right?
Right.
Because I'm OCD about that.
And there you go.
Thanks, Nate.
Beatty.
Okay.
Beatty. So that was good. I was right and you were wrong, Tim. There we go. I got it. I got one. Finally. All right, but yeah, no, I love this one. This was one of my there were lots of favorite pieces in the set that you sent me, but this one's unbelievable.
That's why I sent them. But what if a dealer was to sell this as a 3/4 splash page? Yeah,
that's right. Maybe, darn tootin'.
Maybe, but it's a beautiful. Look at that Joker face. Yeah, you can just see the insano in his face.
Oh yeah. I mean, Kelly Jones on Batman was, one of my favorites.
Oh
So,
yeah, it is. It is. I bought everything. I bought the whole run because
mhm.
I had a lot of issues that I bought at a chocolate store here in El Salvador that sold magazines. Which coincidentally, well, El Salvador is very small. It was a store of of a friend of mine's mother, and she sold some comics, and I bought them, but they put the price tag on top of the comic, so and they weren't in bags or anything. And then I got a German collector, which I bought a lot of comics from, and I bought the whole run for cheap, and I
Well,
got everything now.
that's the way to do it.
Just look at how much Glenn priced this. Oh,
Yes. Yes. Well, he did price that piece that was just posted rather aggressive, I would say. But
was it Jim Lee with the Uncanny X-Men that
no,
Jason was
there was
asking about?
no, this was a Kelly Jones Batman page. I think was it posted yesterday? No, it was posted Tuesday for sale. I think because usually Glenn, if everyone hasn't noticed, Glenn's very savvy. He always puts an art drop right before anybody else is doing something, so he can get everybody's money and keep that money out of everybody else's hands. And so he usually does an art drop like 6 hours before Dueling Dealers or the day before a Heritage Signature Auction.
Okay.
He
Did you
hasn't.
stop him at the beginning of the Dueling Dealers? He was selling
I
art,
did.
wasn't
I,
he?
I did. I did have to ask him to never do that
Okay,
again.
chill out.
That's right. I said, go start your own show if you want to do that. So, or wait until I can figure out
Well,
how you get you on this one.
don't encourage him. He's gonna go out and do it. He's written comics already.
That is true. That is true. Oh, come on. No, nothing can top Dueling Dealers, but that's okay. Yeah, I hope other stuff kind of comes out of what
Well,
we're doing. I
everything
mean,
that makes the hobby grow, it's good for all of us.
that's the way I look at it. It's all
Even though us true collectors hate it when pages we love are going for a tenth of thousandth that we can't afford.
Yes, I completely agree. But it is very true that the more things that are out there that promote the hobby, the better. That's why when you were talking about setting up just to show people, in your community or wherever that show is, artwork, I think it's a good thing. Because they've probably never seen a piece of original comic book artwork before, but they're at the show because they love comics. So even if you just set up a table with some Toyas out there and just let them, look at it. That's a good thing. You might, you can inspire
No,
someone else
no,
to
no, no,
collect.
no.
Yeah. Well, come on.
I could do a printout. I
You could,
got an 11 by 17 printer
yeah,
artwork that I could do printout, but the
yeah.
original artwork on
You
my
don't want
booth,
to,
no,
you
no,
don't
no,
want
no,
to
no,
have
no,
them.
no,
You don't want to have them set. Well, you could bring the
no.
cheap stuff out.
Not even the cheap stuff, not even the $20 pages. I'm gonna be cringing when
Well,
they're coming with the ice cream and
right,
dropping the
exactly.
ice cream on the yard. Oh my
Then you need to tell
god!
your
I'm
friend at the
gonna have a
show
stroke.
to do the printing for you.
No, he told me come see the setup. There's a really nice book where you could put the art in, and you don't have to bring the expensive stuff. I'm never thinking of bringing it. I
I don't
want to
blame
bring
you.
some, but they brought a couple of artists. I put a couple of commissions from people they brought, which is John Thames and Joe Benitez.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
I put those
I like Joe's
commissions
work.
in. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, of course. He's a great artist. He's a great
Yeah.
guy.
All right. Well, this next piece is going to make Nick Barucci cry. I'm going to show this one right now. I'm
No,
just
is it a flash? I didn't put any flash.
no, it's not.
He
It's not a
loves
flash.
flash.
I know he does, but this is something he likes almost probably just as much.
Oh, who doesn't?
I know we all
Scott
do.
Williams inks.
Yeah.
It's the third appearance of Typhoid Mary. Oh my God, this is also an eBay purchase.
How did I do it? I mean, this is crazy.
It's got a lot of Cipitone on it.
I like that. That's why I kind of zoomed
Oh
in
my
on that one
God.
image. I just thought that was really cool.
Mhm. Yeah, it was an eBay purchase.
I can't believe that.
It's
Well,
beautiful. Look at that Typhoid Mary. Look at the Kimping smoking that cigar.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
this
one.
is from 2012. I bought it.
Yep.
This is
I mean,
never leaving my collection.
yeah. No, I
Oh my
don't blame
god,
you.
that cover he has, Nick. That cover you have with Typhoid Mary drowning Daredevil. Oh my god, that is
Right.
so beautiful.
Yeah, that was an amazing pickup that Nick made. That
Oh,
I love
I
that cover
can't
myself.
imagine how much that was. You know, because these
Yeah,
pieces, any John JR Daredevil are going for 5K or over. You know.
right. I mean, if you even see them, I mean, a lot of this stuff that you don't even get on the market anymore. I mean, as a seller, when you get pieces like this, you usually have 3 or 4 people lined up, that are going to compete before something even needs to be put on your website or marketed in any way. So, yes,
No, this
fantastic.
this piece, I'm gonna be underground before it leaves my hands. You
I
know,
don't
it's
blame you.
it's Al Williams. Oh, such a fantastic inker. Mike Diodado. This was a
Yeah.
trade.
Oh yeah. Not an eBay Hey, all right. I got one that wasn't eBay.
No, this isn't. It was a trade. Um, Steve Burke is a friend of mine and Anchor too. I consulted them about the trade, and they were like, "No, no, no, your piece is much better." But I was like, this reminds me a lot of Kelly Jones, and
Yeah,
it's got
sure.
Bane, and like I'm gonna do it, Don't do it. It's your piece is better. You could get more money for it if you sell it. Well, I'm not into selling it. The other piece I liked it. It was a Simone Bianchi piece,
Uh-huh.
and I got rid of all of them, and I just kept those Spidey sketches that I sent to you too.
Mm-hmm.
And but the other artwork didn't call as much to me as this one did. Because that Batman last panel, it's totally like a Kelly Jones Batman. The ears,
Oh, heck yeah.
yeah,
The
and
dialogue on
Bane,
the page is good. Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
That might hold all time record for longest bat ears. Well, uh, don't tell Kelly that. He's gonna piss off. Be pissed. Um, yeah, yeah, NSN, yeah, not so great art. Yeah.
Yep. No,
Um,
yep. Nope. That was a
yeah,
great
it's a
detective
lovely
page.
piece. Yeah, so I did the trade. They were telling me ask for more money. I got like $100 in the trade, but I'm glad I got this page.
Oh, I
It's
mean,
sitting there.
yeah. Well, the thing is, Simone is always got great artwork available. So it's like, you could probably.
Oh, but he's expensive.
He is very expensive now. I
Very
think.
expensive. He wasn't back then when I purchased his first stuff. I missed the cover. It was a Thunderbolts cover with Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, I was emailing Gloria like, "Oh, you sold it to this guy, and he already sold it. I would have kept it in my collection forever if I had won it, if I had purchased it myself."
Right.
But I didn't have
Oh,
money back then. I
mhm.
was broke already, 1 or 2 years into original art collecting.
Well, I mean, that's how it goes, unfortunately. But yeah, no. Well, Gloria's has always been great to deal with. I mean,
She's great. She's great. She's great.
yeah.
She's great. She's great. Yeah.
No, I agree. So, but you got a great page nonetheless.
Yes, I did. I'm glad I did. I don't regret that trade. That's one of the ones I don't regret. Even when experienced people told me not to do it, I did it
Hmm.
because I love the art, and I'm glad I got it.
Right. No, I don't blame you. And Steve Barak I've been friends with him for a very long time too. And
Of course.
yeah.
Oh, I met him in 2016. Oh, he was so nice to me because I'm a signature series
Oh,
authorized. and we had lunch. We went out to lunch with my wife and my kid, and he's so great.
He is.
So much
He's like
knowledge.
one of the nicest guys in the hobby, without question. Very
He
open. I
is.
mean,
Yeah.
he takes the time to talk with with the fans and with just I mean with everybody. If you show any interest, I mean he will. He had me go on a cruise with him a few years back as
You
part of
went?
this. I went on that cruise. Yeah, the one that went down to the Caribbean and then went. Where else did it
Yeah.
go? I can't
Oh,
remember.
I
It was
wanted to
this.
go that. I
Yeah,
also wanted
we had
to
a great
go to
time.
the grading forum he did when he was back in Florida. He did
Yeah.
another one in Texas, and I wasn't even able to go to that other one because I got a Seal 210. I press my own comics too. At least I'm trying to learn.
And no, Ruben, I did not go as Steve's plus one. Actually, Maureen got to go with me. No, Maureen and I. That's probably the last vacation Maureen and I took together was when we went on that cruise. They had approached Steve about doing it, and Steve thought I would be a good person to have go along to talk about comic art as well, and it was fun. We all had a great time. I don't think they made any money. That's why they never did it again. But it was one heck of a 4-day cruise with just all comic art. Artists were there. It was a mixed bag. They had a lot of entertainers there too. But as a show and just a crazy thing to do, it was a lot of fun. And I did drag Maureen to a
I
cruise, a comic
bet. I
cruise.
bet. I regret not going. And Steve is so much fun and so much knowledge. Everything he's been through. He sold the Nick Cage collection when he was back at Heritage.
Yeah, yeah. No, Steve,
Huh?
Steve,
Oh, he
he's really
told me,
done well
I'm
everywhere he's gone.
of course. How
Yeah,
can he not? So
I
much
know.
knowledge. Uh-huh.
Right. No, no. He
Yeah.
did because he helped found the CGC, and that's when I first met him was down there. I mean, uh, we had kind of worked out some deals together, and he brought me into CGC, and I got to work with them for a number of years while I was doing
In
CAF.
CGC?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you probably can't talk about it, but yeah, we I did, but because so he's been a friend and an asset, and and I feel like I've been the same for him because we've always kind of kept in touch and hang out at any shows that we can go to. But yeah, when he went to Heritage, the stuff that he sold, I mean, he could have stayed at Heritage and just done that for the rest of his life, but he got bored after a while and burned out on it, and then went back to doing CBCS. So I mean, I
I'm
don't know.
glad he did.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree.
Let's plug CBCS.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah, of course, he's great. I
Yeah.
use both. I use CGC and CBCS, but with the current yesterday situation with CGC, mm, well, it's it's Steve's time to shine, and he's got a
Yes.
great product. It's good,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. I agree. I mean,
Mhm.
no, he,
When I first met him in 2016, as soon as he met me, he was like hugging me, and it's like, and I spent a lot of time with him, and it's like I was asking me, hey, how come you're spending so much time with me? And it's like, you're from El Salvador. Come on, when am I gonna meet you again? All these guys, I'm from the USA. I can meet them whenever I come back. When are you coming back? Well,
right.
probably
There you
next
go.
year because I love Comic Cons. And he since he can't collect any more comics, he's got a great comic book original
Hmm.
art collection.
Oh yeah. No, no, he sold a lot, but he's still kept a lot of really nice pieces.
He keeps the nice ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
You
no.
gotta let
He's
something go. You can't keep everything. It's impossible.
no, no. But you can.
I
All right.
try. I swear to God, I try. I try. I'm bring. I was looking up pieces to sell at a heritage auction, seeing as the market is so high.
Yeah.
Uh, come up with like 10 pieces, not more. And I
Right.
can't let go of this.
I don't blame you. I mean, there's a lot of, I've been talking with a lot of collectors who are doing that very same thing, looking at their collections right now. And so I just think Heritage, I mean, they might be able to squeeze in another signature auction this year, just with the idea that, I think that there could be that much quality art coming on the market in the next 12 to 15 months because of what we're seeing. So it's, again, I don't know where we're going to be a year from now, but hey, we've probably only got about 10 more minutes because I try not to go too long into the evening, even though it's early in the evening for you.
I think we only have 3 pieces. Let's go ahead. Let's do some more pieces. Let's show people some more. That's why they came here, isn't it?
That is very true. Let's see. Let me pull up this one here.
Oh, I did Bennett's piece, Hellspawn.
Yeah, I really like it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was.
Ooh, look at that! Doesn't that look like a Jim Lee Hellspawn?
It does kind of. You're right.
It does kind of, And Ed Bennis is a huge talent. I got several pieces from him. I got a Birds of Prey piece. What other piece? I got a cover, a Green Lantern cover from him. That's pencils only. That was really cheap back then, and it's
back
beautiful.
then. Yeah, you always gotta say.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah. And this is from so it's Ed Bennis Pencils and Inks from Superman.
Both
27
pencils and inks.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
2011 issue number 27. Yeah. The page size, I haven't measured it yet. This is one of the new pieces, like from the last 2 years.
Was it an eBay purchase?
No. This.
Good.
Let me see. Maybe. I have to look it up. It's not in my database yet. When I first started looking through my Itoyas for the pieces I was gonna show, the first 2 Itoyas, I don't have them on my database, and I was going like crazy. Like the description at the page, I like to put every character that's in there, what's going on, when was it published, the exact size of the piece, the cost, writer, inker, penciler. It's anal retentive, but it's what we love,
Hey, again, you gotta. The more knowledge you have, the better off you're going to be. I mean, if you were going to sell it one day or not, it's still better to have all that information written down.
Yeah, I like to have it,
And here's a J.G. Jones, Why the Last Man cover. Issue 4.
Thanks for showing this. I love this. This is what I was talking about. I got in contact with Goran Sutsuka.
Yeah.
He was like a backup penciler for Why the Last Man, and Mark A represents him. And he had, when I learned about Why the Last Man and I read it and I liked it and found about Goran, I contacted him and he had like 45 pieces left without selling, and I bought everything. I've got 2 Itoyas full of Why the Last Man, plus several covers. This is the cover for issue 4, I think, which is the earliest.
Yes, it is. Yeah, cover 4. Yeah.
And Felix has a cover for issue 1.
Yes, he does.
I tried to trade the other covers I have. I had another one. I sold it when I first bought them. I bought one from Spain, from a dealer that didn't want to sell from anybody outside of Europe. So I got a friend of my wife's to buy it for me, and they received it and emailed it to me. And then after that, I met Jeff in Baltimore, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so amazed! Your artwork is so beautiful." And I went through his Itoyas, and he still had 4 covers. I was like,
"Wow,
oh my God, how do you still have these? He's like, they're so ugly. Nobody wanted them. I'm like, oh, I want to purchase them. I got his email, and we agreed to a price tag, and I bought all four of them. After I paid him off in 2 years, I think. And after that, when I got him at another Comic Con, I got him from him in person. Uh, I sold one within 6 months, and I think I paid for all of them.
With the one
But that's
sale,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, I'm sure as an artist, it's got to drive them crazy sometimes, where it doesn't sell, and then the right buyer comes along, and then they all sell. So that was great.
I I got another piece from Jeff because I really love him, and I'm
Hmm.
getting some prelims from him. Well, he agreed to sell them if he won't back down. I really love his work. He's really
Hmm.
great artist. He's been struggling with sickness, and I'm glad he's coming out. He's still struggling, but he's a great person.
Yeah, I've met him once, but I have a few pieces by him as well. So
You do?
love it. I love his art. Yeah, I don't think they're in my calf though. I'll have to dig them out.
What pieces are those? Are they Y?
No, they are not. They are not white.
Oh, okay,
Sorry.
okay. So I got like two Itoyas of interior art. Within that, I got three Pia Guerra pages when her sister was selling them, and I
Hmm.
got one from Cadence before the trailer hit,
Hmm.
and then I got two Itoyas full of Goran Sutsuka art. No,
I
no,
like
not much.
Suzuka's work.
Yeah, well, yeah, I love it too. That's why I
Yeah,
bought them.
I know.
Buy
He's a
what
great
you
guy.
like, and you're not never gonna lose. And then after that, I bought
Exactly.
more art from Goran because he did Daredevil, and I bought
He
three
did.
pages from Daredevil. And every time he sold me art, he sent me sketches. And if you saw my calf, most of the art I have is sketches,
Hmm.
which I could never go around and sell them because they're personal. Most of them
Right.
are free sketches that I've gotten,
Hmm.
like, look, I'm traveling from El Salvador. I'm gonna buy a few prints. Can you do a sketch for me? And I've never been the guy that goes around and, okay, he did this for free. Let's put it up on eBay and
Right.
let's
No, no.
milk the cow.
Yeah. No. Anything that's a gift is definitely staying with me, forever. You can't give it. You can't sell that kind of stuff. I mean, that's not. I mean, I know lots of people
Okay.
can. Lots of people can, and lots of people do.
I can,
But
yeah,
I,
I
I couldn't
can.
either. No, no, no. I mean, I've got. I've had. It doesn't matter. I mean,
The
I've
first
gotten
time I
art
took
gifts
my
before too.
wife to a con, the first time I took my wife to a con, Todd Mcfarlane was there, and he wasn't announced. And after during the show, he was announced, but they were giving out bracelets. And when I went out to get one, they were gone. And I made such a fuss with the crew people. Like, I've traveled all the way from El Salvador, and I want to meet this guy. Come on, so fantastic artist. I cannot go back
Did
to
they
my
move you to
country
the
without.
front of the line?
No, they
No.
took me to the back to meet him
Oh well, that's
inside,
even
and he
better.
came
Even
and was like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And I was so nervous. I couldn't ask him to do a sketch for me. I got a McFarlane piece. I didn't show it there. It's an infinity
no, those are
piece. Yeah.
yeah.
But I couldn't ask him. He just signed and do a tiny spider there. I should have asked him for a sketch. I bought a piece from a charity auction that had several Spider-Man. One was a Campbell, Silvestri, a McFarlane, but it was on a painter's board. It was on a, what do you call it? The piece wasn't paper, and I
Right,
didn't
like
like the
a
texture on it. It wasn't an artboard, and no, no, not an artboard. It was
no, it's like they're called like canvas boards where they're
a
like
canvas. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
where they're
And
gessoed or something too, and yeah, they have that
uh-huh.
they have the mesh texture on them. So yeah, nope, I
I
know
didn't
exactly
like
where.
it. I didn't like it, and I just turned around and sold it for twice as much.
Right.
But that's the only McFarlane Spidey I'm ever gonna get. Anchor has one right now, and he's like, "I know you want a Spidey." I'm like, I can't afford it, man.
Yeah,
I wish I could. I can't sell my stuff,
I
but
don't blame you.
I
Yeah,
wish I could.
but we got. Let's look at like two more pieces of artwork before we call
Let's
it a
go.
night.
Let's
How's that?
go. Let's
All right,
go.
let me pull another. Let's see. Okay, we won't count this one as two, even though
Oh,
there's two
William
slides.
March. No, it's one. It's one
Well,
cover.
well, you had
It's an
the
overlay. Those are the prelims.
prelims. Yeah, well, I wanted to show
Yeah.
them both because I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Because you can see
Annabelle.
the
This I purchased from Annabelle. I
mhm.
had purchased previously a Harley Quinn, which I sold later on. Well, last year I sold the ones I shipped to Germany that I told you about. But then
Yeah,
I asked for this because I love Silver Banshee, and there was what? When was it? Last year there was a John Byrne page from Silver Banshee, and I lost it for like $100, like second appearance from her. And
hmm,
look at her, she's so lovely. And Gillum is such a talented artist. He's from Spain, so he speaks my native language, Spanish. And I contacted him when he first started doing Gotham City Sirens and
yeah,
asked for the cover for issue one. But he said he wasn't selling their art back then. So I didn't get it. But I got a prelim from Jeff from JJ Jones, from his variant cover from Gotham Series City
hmm,
Sirens. Yeah, she's a great character. I agree. I love her, and she
yeah.
doesn't make a lot of appearances, but I don't know.
No, I thought it was
And
fantastic, and it's cool that you
it
bought it
is.
through.
It is.
Annabelle's great to deal with as well. I mean, she's
Yes, yes.
yeah.
She works with you because I had some problems with my first purchase, and then she made it up to me. She's
Yeah.
great. You know.
Oh, through the Comic Art Live? Was
No,
it through the
no, outside,
oh, I was
outside.
outside that? Oh, okay. Because
Yeah,
she helped on
yeah.
the in the November show with me, as far as like getting a
And I think she also helps with Tatiana with the Italy show. She did. She helped.
well, or Steve Morger, the Lake Como. Lake, I believe that
Lake
the lake.
Como, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. You were there. Well,
No,
you were a partner with him and Tatiana. Well, Tatiana worked
well,
for you guys, didn't
yeah, with Big Wow, not
it?
with Lake Como.
No, no, no. With Big Wow, you were
Yeah,
a part owner there, weren't you?
I was. Yeah, with
Mhm,
Steve Morger, Frank Cho,
mhm.
and a host of others. Even Mark Hay became an owner right before like the maybe the
Oh,
only
he
for a
did.
year. Yeah, yeah,
He
he
did. I
kind of
gotta
bought
meet
in.
Mark. I gotta meet
Yeah,
Mark. Yeah, he's
yeah,
great.
Mark.
He's got
Yeah, Mark.
a lot of great artists.
I completely agree. No, Mark's a nice guy, and he always is in San Diego. So if you ever get to San Diego, that would be an opportunity to meet with him. Let's see. We're going to look at one more piece of artwork. I did actually pick a bunch of different stuff, but let's.
We've been talking so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, people must be bored not seeing art.
Well, here let's just show that one.
Oh, the unpublished piece.
Yes, I know you're
Can you
really
show the
happy when you get.
pencils?
I think I did prep it. Here, let me see here. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, I just didn't upload it here. Let me show that one too.
Such a difference, you know. Jim Lee is a great artist, but for me, it's like Jim Lee is Jim Lee because of Scott Williams. Not in that way, you know. But it's like, look, this is a half ass pencils, you know. And
Uh-huh.
he took all the time I've spent, what, maybe at least an hour looking at the pencils, because I sent the pencils directly to him, and I was like, yeah, I did. Yeah, Ruben. Yeah, I did. And I was like, you gotta ink over his pencils, because otherwise, I don't want his pencils. Those pencils are not bad. They're not bad, but they're not a Jim Lee piece without Scott Williams on it. And he did such a fantastic job. The only thing I regret in the pencils, there was like a flight number that Jim had when he was drawing it. He had written on the on the top right corner, and Scott erased them. I wish he hadn't. Like, um, yeah, but
Oh, yeah, he
look
cleaned
at
that
that
up, didn't
piece. Yeah, no, and if you look, the C from Sod, that wasn't in the pencils.
Right.
All the hairlines on the so much detail. And this was the only way I was ever gonna be able to own a Jim Lee cover, a
Hmm.
Jim Lee Scott Williams cover. You
Oh,
know,
that turned out great. It really did.
I'd wish they'd publish it. It's beautiful because it's the 213 published cover it's the same concept. I think Sod is only sideways, looking sideways, and you only
Right.
see his shoulder and mhm.
Well, it's a beauty. I'm glad you got it inked. It's too bad he erased that stuff, though.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I should have told him not to erase
Yeah.
that. It's like a part of the.
Right. But so we've come to the end of our chat this evening, Tim. This has been a lot of fun, man. I'm glad we got to do this. I'm glad we got to meet after all the times I've seen your comments on Facebook and
And we've
your
talked too we've PM'd each other.
yes, we did. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's cool. That's the best part of doing these chats is just getting to meet people that either I've emailed with, lots that I've never talked to, or just I've had, collections that I'm just discovering. Like at the end of the day, I really didn't know what all was in your collection on the that you have on CAF until we decided to do this last week. So and you did do it spur of the moment. Remember, I called for volunteers and you were the first one to ping me.
I was,
You were.
and I
I
took some time. I was thinking like, should I do it?
I know. Well, that's why it's honestly, it's about a 50% chance that people turn me down. A lot of people don't want to go on camera, and I totally get it. I mean, but literally, it's about the average when I'm reaching out to people. I mean, it's not for everybody to want to kind of, maybe they don't want to, they still work at some place where they don't want people to know that they're into comic book artwork or
Why
whatever. So
not?
I don't
Maybe
know.
I don't know. I wanted to do it because I can't talk with comic book art with anybody here in this country. I
Right.
do. I have friends. Anchor. I speak often with Anchor. He's a great guy. I purchased a lot of pieces from him, and several people. Tatiana too. I was speaking with Tatiana
Yeah, she's really
pretty
good.
recently, asking about a Mark Brooks piece that
Hmm.
I sent you to, because she's like an expert on Mark Brooks.
Yes, definitely.
You
Definitely.
didn't show. Can you show the one last piece?
Which one was that? Tell me
The
which one you want me to
Turner.
show.
The
Oh, the
Turner.
turn. Oh, let's see. Let me move my mic out. Oh, okay. Yeah, piece
You have it.
27. I do have it. Well, not as a pre-created slide. So I've got to. I'll share it in a different way here. This will be the last one we go over. Here we go. Let me see. All right.
This was the
Wow.
first piece I spent so much money on it. I paid over current pricing on it. I was like, I gotta buy this. Look at that dark side. No, oh my god, it's such a beautiful piece. And thank God I was able after this to get I got two other double splash Turner pages from Witchblade, and a page from issue 1 too from Witchblade. But he was such a talent that we lost
Oh,
so soon.
I agree. Wow.
Yeah, and he was such. I never met him, frankly, but everybody says that when they met him at a con, he was so nice. Royce
Yes.
worked for Top Cow, and I think he met him back when he did.
And I think it was recently, wasn't it his birthday recently? I thought Tim Townsend had a really nice
2 days ago. 2
2
days
days ago,
ago, I
yeah.
think, or
Tim,
yesterday, or the day before.
it
Either
was it was
20
it
or
was within the
21.
last couple of days, yeah, because I just remember Tim's Townsend's post on Facebook remembering
Yeah, such a
Michael, and
talent, you know.
yep,
Such a
taken way
humble
too soon.
person. Yeah, and such a talent, you know.
Yep.
Look at his art, you know.
Like I said, you've got one heck of a collection, Tim. I am so glad you shared it with us this evening.
The owner of this piece contacted me. Well, how long ago? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago. He wanted to buy that back. I was like, oh, no, no, no.
So Chuck's saying that today would have been his 50th. So maybe it was this morning when I read that. I don't know. Everything kind of bleeds together for me anymore. But
I looked it up on Wiki, and it was yesterday, I think,
what,
because I posted this on a group this morning on a private group.
okay. Hey, it's right around here, one way or another. But
April 21st, 1971. Yeah, yesterday.
very good.
Yesterday.
Very good. Well,
Beautiful.
congratulations on that one too. Yeah,
And
without
it's
question.
just pencils. The other pieces are inks by D-Tron.
Yeah.
The three of them are. But just the pencils. Oh my god, you know.
It's all right, Ruben. We are done for the evening. So Tim, again, absolutely fun. I'm glad that we, that you now you've at least talked to somebody while you were in El Salvador about original comic art, and it
I'm
couldn't have.
glad I did. You know,
Yes,
it's like,
absolutely.
weight on my chest.
All right. Well, thank you again. I sincerely appreciate it. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. This was an awesome chat. Don't forget about the Gerhard sale on Saturday if you're into Cerebus art. That should be a lot of fun, 11 a.m. right here on the channel. So, again, Tim, thanks. And everyone, have a great evening.